everyone, and welcome to Lounge TV. Today we are chillin' and grillin'. Pretty excited. I'm the one running it today because I felt like it. Why, you think I need a reason? I felt like cooking. Anyway, we're making chicken marsala today. Now, funny thing about chicken marsala is actually the dish that I had that made me realize that I actually liked mushrooms instead of hated them. First time I had it was over at my friend, you might know him, Tyler. Well, no muffin, I should say. He made chicken marsala one time when I was over there. At first I was hesitant because I was like, I really don't like mushrooms all that much, and then I ate it and it was just like, wait a minute, I'm a fool.
Mushrooms are good.
They're good. So, if you could show everybody all the things we need. Okay. Chicken marsala is actually pretty easy. So the things you're going to need for the chicken marsala itself are going to be olive oil, butter, flour, baby velvet mushrooms is what we're using. You can use different types of mushrooms. Doesn't have to be baby velvet. Chicken broth, Marsala wine, chives, salt and pepper, and this container has essence in it. Now the thing is about essence is that you can buy Emerald Lagasse's essence, depending on where you are, in stores, or you can make it. And if you want to find out how to make it, then you can check out a video that I did a while ago on the main channel.
It's one of the first ones, right?
It was really early on, in which I actually show you guys how to make essence in a, if I do so myself, humorous way. Tyler's there too, so there's a reference for him if you need it.
Some sort of accent, right?
Yes, Emerald Lagasse's essence spice. Very spice.
Don't know where that accent's from, but you know, whatever.
You got me. Now this isn't actually all that we're making with this. We're actually going to be making it with egg noodles and... Did I say we're making it with broccoli? I think so.
I think so.
That sounds right. But that's not the focus. So we'll be getting that done. We'll say like, this is the part where you should be doing this or should be doing that if you're following along with the exact thing that we're making. Which... We
forgot to put something out on the counter.
Did we now?
That would be the chicken.
Kind of hard to make chicken marsala without the chicken. Here it is. Chicken.
Those would be boneless, skinless chicken breasts.
Boneless, skinless chicken breasts. What, are there 4 in there? 3?
I think there's 3.
What's roughly the weight on that? Normally it's still in the packaging, but for some reason this wasn't, pardon me.
It's because it was a big packaging. I used the other half yesterday.
Ah, that would do it. So 3 decently sized,
yeah, they're big.
Boneless, skinless chicken breasts.
They don't even really need to be that large, because those are quite big.
Well,
okay.
Now you know.
Yeah.
So
chicken marsala includes chicken.
Chicken marsala includes chicken. Who would have thought? Anyway, let's get ourselves started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is actually to prep your mushrooms, because those are easy to let sit out. In fact, actually, give me a moment. You can see that we have them washed. We destem them. You don't have to do that, but the stems can be a bit chewier. You can see that about how large we have cut up the mushrooms, sliced them.
That's a lot of mushrooms.
It is. If I had to guess, probably about 3 cups worth.
At least.
At least. But they're good.
Yes, they are.
So after you do that, then you're going to want to start prepping up the chicken. So to do that first, we're only using the 2 larger of the chicken breasts that were in that bag. That third one we're going to just cook something else later. I don't know. So we're only using the 2 big ones. What you got to do with that is, because it's so large, you got to cut them in half. As you can see, we've already pounded up 3 of the 4 halves. And so then you're going to have to get your mallet.
Which side of the mallet are you using, Chef Tom?
The one that I just slapped my hand with.
As opposed to the...
As opposed to the spike one. That would hurt. So I'm not going to do that because that would be silly.
Yeah.
And then, of course... Sometimes you gotta readjust the bag as it starts to fold in on itself. You know, it's how it is.
Your chicken's coming apart.
It is. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Mm. Well, again, it happens.
How thin do you make it?
You want it to be thin. If I had to guess, probably about half an inch. If you're using Imperial. If you're not,
Centimeter?
like a centimeter and a quarter or something. I don't know.
Centimeter and a quarter.
Well, an inch is 2.5 something, isn't it?
1.2 centimeters? 1.3 centimeters? There's no
Roughly.
Who uses fractions in metric system?
Well,
Just keep
we're American.
pounding. You done yet? You done yet? Done? Yet? It should be done. Now you're just mutilating.
Okay, that looks right.
That looks about like it should.
Yeah. Don't need the mallet anymore. So the next thing we're going to be doing is dredging the chicken. If you don't know what that means, you're about to find out. Now it's time to dredge that chicken. You might remember me hearing me say that like 2 seconds ago, maybe 5, 10 at this point. So we got a little bit more than half a cup of flour. Just gonna drop that onto a plate or a shallow bowl, whichever you're feeling at the time. It's entirely up to you. And then that essence that I mentioned.
Can I show that essence up close?
Sure.
Hold on, it's not focused. There we go. That's quite a mixture of spices in there, huh?
Very spice. So.
Well, you're all blurry. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, it does that. Somebody's not very used to using the camera, it seems.
I don't do
anyway,
it very often.
You want to take that, this isn't quite a heaping tablespoon, so I'll just toss in a little bit extra. Right afterwards, there we go. Now you can either use the measuring spoons, or if your hands are clean, you can just get your hands in there. You want to mix that up all nice and good. Let me just move these out of the way first. I'm going to use my hands because you want to make sure there's no clumps of essence in there.
Or clumps of flour.
Or clumps of flour. You want that all nice and evenly distributed.
That looks distributed.
I'd say it does as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that essence smells pretty good.
There you go.
All right.
Perfect.
Flatten that out. All right. Your next step is going to be, you can use your hands if you want, but I'm going to use tongs to try and keep my hands clean because nobody likes touching raw chicken.
Chickeny hands. Ugh.
Nah, not so good. So, take some of your pounded flat chicken. Try and get a good grip on that. And you want to lay that flat in the flour and essence mixture. Then flip it again. Make sure that gets nice and coated. Then lift it up one more time. Just want to shake off the excess. And then put it on another plate. And then you're just going to want to rinse and repeat that for the rest
rinse.
of the...
Rinse what?
Oh, no, don't. It's a turn of phrase, Mom.
Oh, sorry.
Then you're going to want to duplicate your actions for the rest of the chicken breast that you have. Put on the flour, flip, flip, shake off. And then you will be pretty much ready to start frying them up.
Sautéing.
Sautéing, that's the term for it that I definitely know how to use. I'm a chef. Alright, so this is a little bit unusual. You want to add in a glug of olive oil, and then once it gets hot, which you can tell by a little shimmer on it, then you want to add in a tablespoon of butter. Just let that kind of do its thing.
That's pretty hot.
It is pretty hot. You wanted it to heat on about medium-high heat, or if you're on a super burner, maybe a little bit closer to medium. Heat it up until it gets hot, but not too hot that it's smoking. So then the butter is added. Let that melt just a little bit.
Yep. Butter's starting to brown, so you definitely want to add your chicken.
Oh yeah. Time to add in the chicken.
Bring the whole plate over.
So your flour chicken gets added to the pan.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got ourselves a large pan, so we can fit all the chicken on it.
That was the point to the large pan, right?
I thought we just got it because it looked neat.
I'll take that.
Alright, space them out just a little bit, just because why not?
No, because they cook better.
And because they cook better, but also why not? Alright, now, apparently, it seems as though our house is slanted a little bit, so all the butter is pooling on that side.
Right.
So let's...
Oops, sorry, forgot to actually have the camera on the pot. Okay.
That's kind of important.
Yeah, I know. There was a period of time there where I had it pointed at the floor. Sorry, folks. I was busy watching the frying pan. This camera stuff's not easy.
Not particularly. Also, oil will splatter as I just felt a drop land on my arm.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
So we're going to want to cook this until it's golden brown, which according to the mystery, the ancient sacred texts behind my back are not allowed to see, will take about 3 minutes on each side, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 3 minutes per side.
Okay.
At which point then we can transfer them to a plate and setting aside. You'll get to see them once they're golden brown. About 3 minutes each side.
Smells good.
Yep, certainly does. I can't wait.
Okay.
Okay. Really wish you could smell this, because this smells delicious. I mean, look at that. Look at that nice golden brown across all of them.
Smell-o-vision.
Now, this is just our own thing. Clean tongs, because these tongs have been touching a lot of raw chicken. This is at least the outside of it's cooked. You don't want to touch raw old chicken with a new cooked chicken.
No cross-contamination.
Yeah. So, these are done. We're going to take these off, put them on another plate. I just brushed my finger with one. It's a little hot. Alright, now, you don't want to turn the heat off just yet. Instead, we're going to take the butter.
How much more butter is that?
That's another tablespoon.
Another tablespoon of butter.
Another tablespoon of butter. Now, I actually don't have anything to start stirring these.
You can use the tongs.
I suppose I could use the tongs.
The ones that are on top of the chicken.
The ones on the cooked chicken, obviously. And let's get that butter mixed around a little bit. Alright, we can mix it around a little bit further once the mushrooms are in. And speaking of which, add in the mushrooms.
Good thing we have a big pan.
The good thing we have a big pan.
Did we say that already?
At least one.
Okay.
Probably. Alright.
So what if that chicken wasn't all the way done?
Well, the nice thing about that is that we're actually cooking it a little bit further later on. It's not quite done. You know, expect it. What I'm trying to say is expect it not to be done all the way once you're frying it to golden brown, sautéing it, whatever, on the pan the initial time, because we're going to be cooking it in the sauce again later to finish cooking it all the way through.
There it goes. All right.
And you want to just kind of mix these around for these to start sautéing. It looks like an awful lot of mushrooms, don't it?
I think they're going to probably cook down some.
Maybe just a little bit.
So I know you're supposed to do that until they're like golden brown and they start releasing some of their liquid, right?
That sounds about right.
Okay.
Kind of mix it around. The pan's starting to get a little bit hot.
Okay.
So from now on, I would advise, if you have a pan like that with a handle on the side that's not like sort of heat resistant, to have a pot.
That handle on the side right there.
Right there.
Oh, look at that. Protect those hands.
And there, you can kind of mix that around. It doesn't get all of them moving, but distributes them just a little bit more.
It's going to take a couple minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, mushrooms don't exactly cook quick. From my experience anyway, as limited as that may be. So we'll see again when the mushrooms are more cooked down. Wow, the mushrooms did cook down quite a bit. It looks like there's a lot less of them, even though it's the same amount. So with the mushrooms all cooked down now, you're going to want to take your 3/4 of a cup of Marsala or Marsala wine. Is it a wine?
I think it's a fortified wine. It doesn't say wine on the label, it just says Marsala.
Well, the sacred texts call it Marsala wine, so
okay.
you're just going to want to add that on in.
Yum.
It's going to be a...
Scrape all that brown night stuff up off the bottom of the pan.
Yep. At least you were able to explain it before I got the chance.
Oh, sorry
So
about
once
that.
you put the wine in, you gotta make sure that all the
Yummies.
all the bits, all the good stuff,
All that yummy stuff.
scraped up off of the bottom while you're waiting for it to reduce by half. And you know, from the smell of it, it is definitely a wine. It smells like how like white wine cooks.
Okay.
So yep, just make sure that all the brown bits, or at least as much as you can get, is scraped up off the bottom, because that's the good stuff. Trademark. Trademarked by no one, but
So how do you know when half of it has evaporated away?
Good question.
You just kind of guess?
Basically.
All right.
I mean, you kind of gotta like watch where it is, and then just kind of like.
Okay.
Kind of.
Takes a couple minutes, so huh?
Yeah. I mean, you know, water doesn't instantly evaporate.
Well, if it's hot enough, it does, right?
I mean, technically, this isn't water though. This is wine.
Sorry. Okay.
Just want to keep mixing this around. Just kind of trying to.
Make sure there's no goody stuff on the bottom.
Yeah. Actually, wait. Isn't it a thing where like if you like scrape that like go like that with it, and if it like fills in the void behind it, then it's not reduced yet or something?
Thought that was the cream.
It's cream. Okay. I couldn't remember.
We're not putting any cream in this.
No. Oh, actually, I'm sure there's probably a way to do that. That would taste good.
Well, I'm sure you could. It would.
But
taste
that's not
good,
the focus of this.
But we're just following the recipe, right?
We're just following the sacred texts.
Okay.
Okay, I have no idea how close this is to being reduced by half. It's boiling now, which is what it's supposed to do. At least the front of it is, so let's move this back a little bit so the heat's a bit more evenly distributed.
And there's more liquid toward the back anyway.
Hence why we are more evenly distributing the heat. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think this is anywhere close at this point? Because I'm not sure.
I would give it a little bit more time.
Well, that mushroom just like...
I saw that. It was pretty funny.
So a little bit more time. Just gonna keep moving the mushrooms around. Gotta try and coat them with all the brown bits and all that goodness and the wine and all that.
Well, what are you going to be doing next?
That's a good question. What I'm going to be doing next is...
Consult that text over there.
When the wine has reduced by half, you're going to be adding the...
Chicken broth?
Cup of chicken stock.
Okay.
Or chicken broth. What's the difference between stock and broth?
I don't know.
Okay.
I use them interchangeably.
So have I, but I didn't know if there actually was a difference in that. I think we're probably close to it being
I think we are.
reduced.
Yeah.
Maybe just like, just a smidge longer. Nothing wrong with the...
Well, it just concentrates the flavor just a little bit more.
Exactly.
Okay. I think we're good.
Taste.
I'm
Okay.
looking at how little liquid there actually is in parts of that pan, so I think we're
So you
good.
want to take well, not 4, you want to take 1 cup of the chicken stock right here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to add that on in.
Yep.
And then you're going to want to let that cook for about 3 minutes or until it has thickened slightly.
Are we supposed to add the chicken back yet?
I don't think so. But as it turns out, not until after we lower the heat to medium.
So bring it back to a simmer?
It seems like it.
Okay.
It just says
And then
cook
we'll
for
add the
3
chicken
minutes
back.
and then add the chicken in once that's done.
Okay.
So we'll see when the chicken is ready to go back into the pan. We're getting there.
Yep.
The sauce has thickened just a little bit. Oh, the sauce is actually doing the thing.
Oh, it is doing the thing. It
Also
leaves
making
like a
you-
little trail.
Yeah, or rather, the opposite of a trail. An anti-trail, if you will.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do, now that that is gone through, your 3 minutes of cooking that are up, if I could actually grab the plate and not almost grab a piece of chicken, is you want to take the chicken and you want to put it back into the pan. Like so. Now you don't just want to let it sit there the entire time, you're going to want to actually cover it. Should I add in like the rest of
Oh,
like this?
absolutely. Those juices should absolutely go in.
I thought so, but it doesn't hurt to check. You guys see a bunch of liquid in your thing? That's just flavor. That's just flavor.
That's flavor.
Add that on. Alright, switch back to the spoon. As we are now going to try and, first of all, mix around the flavor that we have just added in. And also to try and get the chicken at least somewhat surrounded by the liquid. You're not going to be able to cover it, obviously, but you know, around as much as you can get. And you are going to want to let it continue to cook for 5 to 6 minutes, roughly.
Roughly. What if it gets all dry? Can you add chicken stock?
Good question. Can we do that?
I don't think that's in the text.
It is not, but yeah, you can. I don't see there's any reason why you can't add a little more chicken stock if it starts to look a little too dry.
I'm gonna have a little sauce in there, but if it all evaporates
sure, but you want to
away,
have sauce.
right? If all evaporates away, you need to get that back.
Yeah, you want sauce, not sludge.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
And yep, just keep mixing that around, making sure that it's going good. Yeah, the heat actually should have
Gone down to medium.
gone down to medium. We're also using our power burner, so this burns a little bit hotter than normal. So, you know, if, on a normal stove, maybe it's medium-high. You know, you gotta know your stove. The more you know, the more you...
Should you flip the chicken at some point?
Honestly, you probably should.
Yeah, I would think so.
Just because, like, you know, you're kind of cooking one half of it,
And you want
half of
that
it's
sauce
sitting in the
over all of
liquid.
it too, right?
But the other half just kind of sitting out. So, I didn't actually, you know, I made a mental note to look at the time when I added the chicken in. Guess what I forgot to do?
It was,
So-
I believe it was 341,
Really, that long ago?
342 maybe at the latest.
We'll go with 342. Always better
Okay.
to overcook chicken than to undercook it.
Well, that's true. Although we don't really want overcooked either.
We don't
but
want, like, you don't want to have overcooked chicken, but if you had to have either overcooked or undercooked, go with the overcooked.
yeah, lose the salmonella.
Yeah. Alright, so I am going to, because it's been,
Why don't you use tongs for that?
because I already had this in my hand. Look,
Sorry. I just thought it might be easier. A little less dangerous.
easier schmeezier. We live dangerously. I say, since I am obviously the most dangerous living person you've ever met. I mean, look at me. I'm an absolute daredevil. So flip that chicken around.
All right, we'll give it another 3 minutes or so.
Give it another 3-ish minutes. Mix up those mushrooms. Get them all up in that liquid. The sauce. Everybody loves the sauce.
There's not going to be much sauce left.
Well, if there isn't, then we'll just add some chicken stock, like we said.
There you go.
And see when this should be done. All right, so it's been about 6-ish minutes or so. We just want to make sure that it is absolutely cooked. And I'd say it looks pretty darn cooked. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heat off on that. We're going to take our trust teaspoon, drop in 2 more tablespoons of butter, start letting that melt.
You want to stir that while it's melting though, right?
Yes, but I have to put this down first. All right. Just want to mix that around. I believe the sacred texts say to swirl it, but we're just going to mix it because I feel like
I wonder
it.
if they're talking about swirling the pan. Like pick up the pan and swirl the pan around.
Let's find out, because this will either work or that's hot. Actually, I think that works out quite nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Swirl
Makes
that
the
around.
sauce look nice too.
It does. So the butter's all in there. Now we want to add the salt and pepper.
Oops.
Should
I
have
thought it
these
was
open
coming.
beforehand.
Oh, sorry about that. Was that my job?
That was someone's. There we go. Okay. Remember, you can always add more in, can't take it out. So, I always err on the side of less is more. And if less is not more, then less can be more by adding more in.
Very philosophical of you.
I thank you. I definitely did not just make that up on the fly.
Tried and true.
Of course. And we want to just mix that around a little bit. Can't really mix the chicken, but...
No, not really.
And then once you think that's all good and mixed up, then it would look to me like it's time to plate. Here we go, our finished product. Now you might be thinking to yourself, hey Tom, did you say something about egg noodles and broccoli? I did. We're gonna make that ourselves later. Like I said, the focus was just on the chicken marsala. Like this is the entree, this is you know, this is the thing that impresses. The rest
This
of it,
is the
those are side
important
dishes.
stuff.
That's like the stuff that goes with it that makes it even better. But if you just want chicken marsala, which, you know, like meal prep or something like that, then this be the way you do it.
There we go.
We're just gonna take this big one right here. Just gonna lay that down. And
That's lovely.
oh yes. Then we get ourselves some mushrooms. Drop those on. I think that's a piece of chicken. So
It could be. It's still going to be tasty. Why don't you like tip the pan and grab some of that pan juice stuff?
yep, that's the idea, because a big part of the marsala is the marsala sauce. Mm-hmm. I kind of want to get more sauce because I already got.
You get your hand in the way.
I'm sorry, it happens. And you just kind of drizzle that sauce all on, nice
Oh, that looks
and
lovely.
tasty. And if you want mushrooms, a good measure.
As far as I'm concerned, mushrooms count as vegetables.
I mean, they're fungi.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just want to
Make it pretty.
pretty. Gotta kind of spread that garnish around so that from any angle it looks nice. You might drop a little
There
bit
you
of it,
go.
but
No,
not
that
a
looks
big deal.
pretty.
And there we go.
And there we go.
Got ourselves a delicious plate of chicken marsala. I mean, look at that. That looks good. In fact, it looks so good.
Ooh.
I'm going to get the silverware that I meant to have out earlier. I mean, that I was supposed to get right now. And we're going to try it out. Because really, how can you make something and then not try it? Hold on. There we go. Came out beautifully. Like I said, like a bed of egg noodles and any other sort of pasta. It would go with potatoes, you know, vegetables,
Rice, anything.
all sorts of that stuff. That'll go great with this. Mix and match, find your own favorites. But I would definitely recommend that you try out this chicken marsala. On that note, one's over here. I moved it. I have tricked myself. And now on that note, grab yourself something cold to drink, put your feet up and relax, maybe with some of your own homemade chicken marsala, and we'll see you at the lounge.